Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is January 12th, 2017, and I discovered that on the CBS hit news series 60 Minutes, they had an interview with one of the astronomers that claims to have found Planet 9. Now, this planet has not even been discovered physically, no photographs, no information, just basically a theory. Now they do two interviews with the astrophysicists and astronomers and scientists who are claiming to have found Planet 9, but they haven't really found it. And as I've been reading over the information pertaining to this Planet 9, which happens to be a massive hypothetical planet that has an orbit of 10 to 20,000 years orbiting our sun. And these scientists and astronomers are claiming that during the last passage of this so-called Planet 9, it disturbed our sun and tilted our sun. Now, there's been a lot of controversy over this Planet 9. And after seeing these two interviews on 60 Minutes, it kind of makes me think, is this the beginning of the entire Planet X disclosure? Because how can an astronomer and an astrophysicist come out and say, we found Planet 9, but we haven't photographed it, we don't know exactly where it is in space, but we know it exists because of a mathematical equation that we dreamt up? It just doesn't make any sense to me. However, we can go right over and check out the video. And again, this is on 60
So let me be
Minutes.
clear. You believe that this huge planet exists, and you believe that it is, in fact, huge, but we can't see it?
Yeah, and I get that question a lot. Like, why can't we see this thing? If it's so big, it's bigger than the Earth, it could be as big as Neptune. And the simple thing is, it is basically the laws of physics. These objects are fairly cold, so the only way we can actually see them is reflected sunlight. So the sun's light has to go all the way from the sun out to the object, reflect off the object, and comes all the way back to Earth. And what that means is if you move something twice as far away, it gets 16 times fainter. That's how the math works out. So
No, he said it right there. That's how the math works out. But yet, they don't have any solid evidence pertaining to the visualization of this so-called Planet 9. And I've been listening to this information coming out of Caltech and this Mike Brown. And the other video, if you watch my cursor right here, there's another video under here. And it's called The Hunt for Planet 9. And that video is with the other two astronomers, astrophysicists, Mike Brown, and I think his name is Konstantin Batygin. I think I'm slaughtering his last name. But these two teamed up, and they are the ones who supposedly came up with this mathematical theory of Planet 9. And then this Mike Brown, he is the destroyer of Pluto. He's the man who got Pluto kicked out of our solar system as being a planet and renamed it a dwarf planet. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding these guys, but what I don't understand is why would CBS and 60 Minutes do an interview with these guys based on a planet that has not been found? Is this the beginning of the disclosure tactics pertaining to Planet X? And you could just listen to a little bit more of this interview.
Things get faint very fast out there.
So explain this for a non-scientist like me. We have telescopes that we're looking back to the beginning of time. We're looking to the far, far edge of the known universe. And we have Hubble out there with all of these eyes from Earth looking at the sky. We can't see this planet?
We could see it if we knew where it was. It's probably bright enough to know, if we knew where it was, we could point a telescope at it and we'd see it. The problem is we don't know where it is. So a lot of
so we have this Planet 9, and this smart guy is claiming that we don't know where it is. Boy, that sounds a lot like our Nibiru and our Planet X. And me personally, I think that they know exactly where Nibiru and the brown dwarf star, I believe they know where they're located. I believe these interviews on 60 Minutes is the beginning of some type of disclosure operation, getting this information out there. Now, who would want to be known as an astronomer that mathematically found a planet, but we don't have any telescopic photographs of it? And just like the reporter states, well, okay, we have the Hubble Space Telescope out there, hundreds of millions of dollars of space junk, but yet your math is not giving you the location of this large rogue planet that is said to have a 10 to 20,000 year orbit around our sun, and possibly the last time it came through tilted our sun. So this interview doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I watched the other interview. I would like you guys to click on the links in the description box, and I want you to watch both of these videos, because to me they just don't make sense. And again, why would a hit TV series like 60 Minutes that has been around forever, why would they waste television time doing an interview about a planet that hasn't been found? To me, this is all theory, even though mathematically they say it exists, but physically they haven't found it. So is this just a prelude to more information that's going to be coming out about Planet X, the Nemesis solar system, Nibiru, what's happening in our solar system right now? What is happening to our sun? I mean, folks, let's be realistic. There are issues right now with our sun. It seems to be, I don't know, I'll use the word short-circuiting. But yet there's also this talk of the potential of a mini ice age. But yet, last year, 2016, record high temperatures all across the globe. And there's a lot of credible research out there that is saying that our Earth is heating up, not cooling down. So let's just listen to a little bit more of this interview.
These other, looking back at the beginning of time type things, are looking at particular things in the sky. They're looking at particular quasars or galaxies, these extraordinarily distant objects that are very exciting objects. But in general, you kind of know where those objects are. This object, we have no idea where it is.
Wow, he ends with that statement. We know where our planets are in our solar system. Mike Brown kicked Pluto out of our solar system, made it a dwarf planet. But yet they're saying, we don't know where this planet is, but we know it has a 20,000 year orbit because our math says so. Well, I respect their intelligence and their education, but I'm just not buying the whole Planet 9 story, and this has been floating around for some time. And it seems to me all of a sudden, over the past year, these guys are making their way through mainstream media with all of these interviews and these talks, these published papers. But it's just not making any sense to me. So how can you believe in something that you can't see? Now, you could say the same about Planet X. However, back in 1993, it is said that the government, with the IRAS space telescope, infrared, photographed and recorded the Nemesis solar system, the brown dwarf with planets and moons orbiting it, in a pattern that would look like a cross. Hence the name given to this mini solar system, the planet of the crossing. So there's a lot of questions revolving these two interviews. Now, I'm going to switch over to the next interview. And again, when you get the links to this 60-minute interview, make sure you, up here, listen to the first interview and then listen to the second interview, because the second interview is talking about Mike Brown, the discovery of this Planet 9, the exodus of Pluto out of our solar system, declaring it a dwarf planet. And what they also don't mention is once the spacecraft that photographed and detailed all of this information about Pluto, they had more fuel available on this craft. So they let it go out into deep space past Pluto. And what did they discover? But another dwarf planet. They named it Xena, Xena, and then later renamed it Eris, Eris. And that planet, Eris, or Eris, orbits our sun also. So we really don't know what these guys are doing. To me, it sounds like they're really not giving us all of the true information about this Planet 9. Is Planet 9 Planet X? Is this the beginning of a disclosure psychological operation? Because so many people are digging into the Nemesis solar system, Planet X, Nibiru. And listen, folks, we know that worldly governments perform psyops. They do it on a daily basis. They put out so much fake news and fake information. It's incredible. And people from around the world, they believe in some of it. But I think people are starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up when it comes to these psyops. But let's take a quick clip of the second interview. I'm going to have to jump through the very little beginning of it because it has a commercial for the pharmaceutical company Pfizer, and I don't want any problems with them. But let's just go ahead and jump right into this.
Sponsored by...
We'll just have to go a little bit ahead.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Oops, I missed it. But anyways.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
And I missed it again.
How many planets are there? 9 is what we were taught. But as telescopes get stronger and astronomers learn more about our solar system, long accepted facts become fallacies. Pluto had been considered a planet for 76 years, But Pluto lost its planet status after an astronomer at Caltech discovered that Pluto wasn't so special after all. His name is Mike Brown. Brown and other astronomers have since found hundreds of large balls of ice like Pluto circling the Sun at the far reaches of our solar system. Demoting Pluto leaves us with 8 planets. But Mike Brown is preparing another surprise. He is sure there is a real 9th planet way out far beyond Pluto. He hasn't seen it yet, but he expects to soon. He believes the real Planet 9 is huge, and it's out there.
The story.
Okay, so Mike Brown, the killer of our planet Pluto, is saying that there is a Planet 9, but he hasn't seen it. Him and his astrophysicist friend, Konstantin Batygin, or however you pronounce his name, they're claiming they found it, but they don't know where it is. It sounds a lot like the claims of Planet X. We know it's there, but we haven't photographed it. We know it's there, but we don't know where it's at. So this interview with Brown and Batygin, it kind of makes you wonder. But let's listen to a little bit more of this.
Will continue in a moment.
So we're going to have to jump past this commercial.
Your body was made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis. Before you and your rheumatologist move to another treatment, ask if Xeljanz is right for you. Xeljanz is a small pill for adults with moderate to severe RA, for whom methotrexate did not work well. Xeljanz can reduce...
But again, it really makes you wonder what they're trying to do when it comes to this Planet 9. A lot of controversy, but to me, there's no evidence. There's no photographs. There's no telescopic views. There's no coordinates, no location. They just say Planet 9 is out there. It has a 20,000 mile, or excuse me, a 20,000 year orbit. That's all they say. So let's listen to Brown.
I am certain.
Certain.
Yeah. That's a rare thing to say for a prediction for a scientist, and I'm willing to say it.
You do know how mind-boggling this sounds. I mean, a new planet hasn't been discovered for...
170 years.
I believe you think it looks like this animation over my shoulder here.
You know, we took a little artistic license and put some lightning on the dark side of it because it might have lightning on the dark side of it. We think that it's somewhere between 10 and 20 times more massive than the Earth.
And we haven't seen it? We can't see it?
It's so far away that it's actually just at the edge of what our biggest telescopes on the ground can possibly see because it's so far away.
50.
Wow, go figure. So it is just beyond the point that our largest telescopes can't see it. But yet, mathematically, they know it's there. Now, I know a lot of these guys are just drilled in college when they're becoming a physicist, an astrophysicist, an astronomer. Math is drilled into their head because math is the answer. Well, I'm an investigator, and math is not one of my key talents. Just like everybody else, I want to see in order to believe. And then the photograph that you're looking at right now on the screen, well, it's just an artist's rendition. And he states, oh, yeah, we added a little bit of lightning in there for the effect. Okay, so they're good at photoshopping. Let's listen some more.
Billion miles away. It's also hard to find because it has an enormous orbit.
Planet 9, we think, takes something like 15,000 years to go around the sun.
Wait a minute, 15,000 years?
15,000 years.
To make one orbit?
One orbit.
To search for Planet 9, Brown goes up Mauna Kea, the big mountain on Hawaii's Big Island, to use the big telescope, the Subaru. Brown doesn't look directly through the telescope. He monitors pictures it's taking of the same sections of sky on successive nights, and then compares them, hunting for movement.
We have to very systematically look at every patch of sky here, 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 here. And what we're looking for is actually kind of simple. We take a picture one night, we come back the next night, all the stars, all the galaxies are in the same spot night after night after night. And Planet 9, when we see it, will slowly move across the sky.
And will look something like this. Brown's discovery 11 years ago that changed the way we think of the solar system. Using pictures from successive nights, Brown discovered this Pluto-sized object, which led to the demotion of lovable Pluto.
Okay, so that is the technique that they used to wipe Pluto off the map. And it worked because then they later found a lot of other planets. And he clearly states these planets are orbiting our sun in very long orbits. They're not part of our solar system, however, they do orbit our sun. The same applies for the theories of Planet X, the Nemesis solar system, that it orbits our sun in a very long elliptical orbit that takes somewhat over 3,600 years. So these guys want us to believe that there's a Planet 9 that they haven't seen. It has a 20,000 year orbit, so they want us to believe that. So why isn't the theory of the Nemesis solar system, Planet X and Nibiru, so why isn't that believable? Well, there's a lot of credible information out there that goes back 30 years pertaining to Planet X, not Planet 9. So it makes you really wonder what is exactly going on with these guys from Caltech, which is like a little mini NASA. What's going on with these interviews, this type of disclosure, and why at this time? Now, the rest of this video is a little lengthy. I'm not going to play the whole thing. He goes into detail talking about the discovery of Pluto and how they deemed it a dwarf planet. There's a lot of good information here, and it raises a lot of questions. And as of lately, we've been coming up with more and more questions, but we can't seem to find the answers. So everybody, I will put the link to this 60-minute interview. Watch both of them. There is one interview here, and then the following interview right here with Mike Brown and Badigian. I think everyone who is researching and following Planet X, I think you need to watch this 60-minute interview. It raises a lot of questions, and it definitely opens up your eyes in the fact that they may be trying to begin the disclosure of Planet X. Just my theory, but look into it. Thanks for watching.